Mike Tyson and personality theories. Mike Tyson is a heavyweight champion in boxing. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, and had a rough upbringing as a child. He was involved with a lot of violence as a child, as he had an intimidating temperament. According to Britcarn.com, Mike Tyson was a member of various street gangs, and when this was found out, he was instantly sent to a reform school. At this stage of his life, he took up boxing to release anger. Bobby Stewart, who was a social worker there, recognised the passion and skill he put into his boxing, and decided to channel this desire into something special. Mike Tyson was directed towards a boxing trainer called Cos D'Amato, who then became his legal guardian. From then on, Tyson had a continuing violent reputation, where he was sent to prison on various occasions. He continued boxing at this time and eventually went back to the ring in 1999. After this match on the 16th of January, he was sentenced to another year in jail and forced to make other commitments, such as doing community service after he assaulted two elderly men. These events show that Mike Tyson has a very violent personality and that he finds difficult to control within any situation. He performed violent acts with little thought of the effects that it would have on himself and also the people around him. He continued to have these self-control issues for very many years. This shows that his personality could be suggested to have come from his upbringing, where he is surrounded by violence in the gangs. However, it could also be suggested to partly come from the sport that he got involved in, because boxing is violent and extremely competitive. In an interview, Mike Tyson said that by nature I am wild, suggesting that he cannot change his personality. This suggests that he has a presence of the trait theory within him. The trait theory suggests that you're born with your personality. You're a type A person or a type B person. This means that if Tyson had parents who were typically quite angry and violent, he was more likely to be born with that trait too. Him having this violent and aggressive personality within him can also be seen when he performed acts of aggressions later in his career. On one of his matches, he bit the ear of his opponent continuously, even when he was being forced to stop. This shows that he couldn't control what he was doing, and possibly his trait theory took over him, and he couldn't take control of the emotions that he was feeling. Being born with traits like this is extremely negative and a disadvantage, especially in sport, because it means that you may get caught up in acts of violence which have huge implications on career. Another personality theory which could be linked to Mike Tyson and his aggression is the social learning theory. As Mike Tyson was brought up in a very run-down part of the United States, it means that he has quite a disadvantaged upbringing. He was part of many gangs on the street who performed violent acts across Brooklyn and New York. This could suggest that he learnt his personality from being around people who lacked in morals, possibly leading him to adapting and changing his personality to mirror those that he was with. Having watched violent and aggressive crimes to be committed throughout his childhood, Tyson may have watched this and believed it was the correct way to act. Because he didn't have anyone around him to show him where he was going wrong, it led him to believe that he had to change to fit in. For example, if a gang robbed someone of their money and Tyson saw the person being beat up so that they could get it, he may have seen this and thought that it was the right way to act if something didn't work out how he wanted it to. Therefore, this can later be reflected in his adulthood and his career, where he assaulted two old men. He thought that by having a fight he was able to almost win at what he wanted to, as he had multiple times watched this take place before. Therefore his personality changed to mirror those that he valued around him when he was younger. We can also suggest that Mike Tyson's personality could have been affected by his boxing career. This links to the interactionist theory of personality. This personality theory suggests that when you are given a role, your behaviour changes around it. When Tyson was given a role as a boxer and he took this as his career, his personality may have changed because of the sport being aggressive and violent. However, I think that Mike Tyson's personality links more to the social learning theory and the trait theory because of his upbringing. I don't think that we can suggest much change that occurred from him choosing boxing as a career. However, I can only suggest that it may have brought out his more violent traits, and that he may had learnt from when he was born, increasing the severity of his actions due to him having to act a certain way within the ring to succeed.